What if the person you trusted most turns out to be the one you should fear? This chilling question underpins our story today. Let's turn back the clock to the tail end of 2001, in the southern state of Alabama. A woman named Sharon Mills, 49 years old at the time, suddenly vanished without a trace. Her husband Dwight Mills reported her missing on the last day of December, a time usually filled with joy and celebration. Yet, for the Mills family, it was a time of fear, uncertainty, and the beginning of a long, harrowing journey. Sharon's disappearance was alarming, but what happened next was even more dreadful. A month later, just over the Florida state line, Sharon's lifeless body was discovered. The news sent shockwaves through the community, turning a missing persons case into a full-blown murder investigation. Law enforcement worked tirelessly, following each and every lead they could get their hands on. Yet, despite their best efforts, the case gradually turned cold. Leads were exhausted, trails went dead, and answers were nowhere to be found. The mystery surrounding Sharon's death was like a stubborn fog that refused to lift. As the years rolled on, the case of Sharon Mills became a haunting reminder of an unresolved tragedy. The fact that a woman could be taken so ruthlessly, and her killer still be at large, was a chilling thought that hung over the community. But even as the case grew colder, the flame of hope was never fully extinguished. For 2 decades, Sharon's death remained an unsolved mystery, but time has a way of revealing truths that once seemed hidden. As we'll see, sometimes it takes the relentless pursuit of justice and a heartbreaking discovery to bring a cold case back to life. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into this riveting case in our next segment. Often the most painful wounds are those that remain open. Sharon's family lived with this open wound for 22 long years. Imagine the weight of that pain, the burden of unanswered questions, the constant heartache of a life stolen too soon. At the heart of this struggle was Angel Faulk, Sharon's daughter. Angel was more than just a daughter to Sharon, they were best friends, more like sisters. Sharon had Angel when she was only 17, their bond was unique, a friendship that ran deeper than most. Imagine losing your mother, your best friend, and then living with the mystery of her death for over 2 decades. It's the kind of pain that doesn't fade with time, it lingers, it echoes in the quiet moments, it's a constant companion. In 2023, Angel stumbled upon some information that shook her to her core. It was a revelation that really hurt her heart, as she later revealed. It was the kind of information that could either shatter a person or galvanize them into action. For Angel, it was the latter. The new knowledge reignited a flame within her, a flame that had been flickering in the winds of uncertainty for 22 years. It was a flame of hope, a flame of justice. Suddenly, there was a glimmer of hope in the dark abyss of despair. It was this glimmer that motivated Angel to take the next step, to reach out for help. She contacted Wiregrass Angel House, a nonprofit organization supporting families affected by violent crime. It was a brave step, one that could potentially bring her one step closer to finding answers, to finding justice for her beloved mother. The sudden glimmer of hope motivated Angel to reach out to Wiregrass Angel House, a nonprofit organization supporting families affected by violent crime. Sometimes a single spark can ignite a flame. Angel's information was that spark. This spark, this pivotal piece of information, was the catalyst that reopened the cold case of Sharon Mills. It was Angel, the victim's daughter, who came forward with new information that she described as something that really hurt her heart. This was not just a whisper in the wind, but a thunderclap that shook the dust off a 2-decade-old case. With Angel's information in hand, the police sprang into action. They began to gather new evidence, meticulously piecing together fragments of a puzzle that had long been left unsolved. This was no easy task. It required painstaking work, attention to detail, and a determination that refused to let Sharon's case fall into oblivion again. But it wasn't just about the new evidence. The investigators also revisited old leads, retracing their steps, and looking at the case from fresh angles. It was like reading an old book, but this time with a new lens. Every page, every sentence, every word was scrutinized, re-evaluated for any clues they may have missed the first time around. And this tireless work paid off. The new information, the fresh evidence, and the rehashed leads started to form a clearer picture. The shadowy figure of the past began to take on a more definite shape. The puzzle pieces were falling into place, and the once cold case was warming up. It was this combination of new information, relentless investigation, and the unwavering determination of both the police and Angel that led to a breakthrough. A glimmer of justice began to shine through the foggy haze of the past. the investigators finally managed to secure an arrest warrant, turning the tables on a case that had gone cold for 22 years. With newfound determination, the investigators managed to secure an arrest warrant, turning the tables on a case that had gone cold for 22 years. Justice, though late, is never denied. This holds true for our story today. After more than 2 decades of uncertainty, the wheels of justice began to turn once more for Sharon Mills. Her husband, Dwight Mills, was arrested on charges of murder and abuse of a corpse. This arrest was not just a simple capture. It was a beacon of hope, a symbol of justice for a case that had long remained unresolved. The arrest of Dwight Mills, now 69, marked a significant turning point in this long-standing investigation. It signaled the end of a long, agonizing wait and the beginning of a quest for justice. Dwight Mills was not just another individual taken into custody. He was a man who had lived under the shadow of suspicion for over 20 years. He was the man who had reported his wife missing, and now he stood accused of her murder. The evidence, once sparse and inconclusive, had finally begun to form a more coherent picture. The pieces of the puzzle were falling into place, pointing towards a grim conclusion. Dwight Mills, the man who had shared a life with Sharon, was now considered her alleged killer. The arrest did not just have implications for Dwight Mills. It reverberated through the lives of those who had known Sharon. Her daughter Angel, who had fought tirelessly for answers, finally saw the first concrete step towards justice. The arrest was a testament to her relentless pursuit for the truth, her refusal to let her mother's memory fade away into oblivion. The charges against Dwight Mills were severe: murder and abuse of a corpse. They painted a chilling portrait of a man who was now considered capable of the unthinkable. The arrest served as a stark reminder that no crime, no matter how old, can forever evade the grasp of justice. At 69, Dwight Mills found himself in custody, facing the consequences of a crime he allegedly committed 2 decades ago. The wheels of justice might turn slowly, but they never ceased to turn. Now, the journey towards justice for Sharon Mills was back on track. In every dark tale there's a beacon of light. In this case it was Angel Faulk. Here was a woman who refused to let her mother's story end in mystery. The bond between a mother and daughter is one of the strongest, and for Angel, her mother Sharon was not just a parent but a best friend. Born when Sharon was only 17, their relationship was more akin to that of sisters, a bond that was unbreakable even by death. Angel was in her 20s when her parents divorced. It was a turbulent time seeing her mother battle with the emotional fallout. She watched as Sharon struggled, improved, then fell back into despair. Then Dwight Mills entered their lives. As Angel has said, "We all know what happened, but what transpired did not break Angel. Instead, it ignited a fire within her, a relentless determination to seek answers and bring her mother's killer to justice." In 2023, she stumbled upon information that shook her to her core. It was a harsh blow, a revelation that really hurt her heart. Yet it was also the catalyst that spurred her into action. Angel reached out to Wiregrass Angel House, a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping families affected by violent crime. Together, they approached the police, reigniting the investigation into Sharon's death. They followed up on old leads, gathered new information and evidence, and finally, after more than 2 decades, they were able to secure a warrant for Dwight Mills's arrest. Through it all, Angel's resolve never wavered. She stood firm, a testament to the power of love and the unyielding pursuit of justice. She was the voice for her mother when she could no longer speak for herself, the driving force that kept the investigation alive, the beacon of light in a story shrouded in darkness. Angel proved that the fight for justice, no matter how long it takes, is never in vain. Her story is a reminder that even in the face of tragedy, the human spirit can triumph. It's a tale of resilience, of a daughter's love, and of a fight that spanned more than 20 years, but eventually led to justice for Sharon Mills. Every story has a conclusion, and every conclusion brings a new beginning. The aftermath of this long-awaited arrest left ripples across the family and the community. Dwight Mills, the man once believed to be a grieving husband, now sits behind bars with a bond set at a staggering $1,510,000. The echoes of his actions reverberate not just in the empty halls of his home, but in the hearts of those who knew Sharon Mills. The Mills family, especially Angel Faulk, Sharon's daughter, found some semblance of closure. It was a bittersweet victory, a moment of relief punctuated with the pain of knowing the truth. For Angel, her mother's best friend and sister in spirit, the journey doesn't end here. The fight for justice was won, but the healing, The process of living with the truth, that's another battle altogether. The Dothan Police Department's commitment to their unsolved cases is a beacon of hope in the face of such despair. Their statement rings clear: no unsolved murder case is ever truly closed. The investigators, the tireless warriors of justice, continue their work, diving into the depths of other cold cases, seeking answers and closure for more families like the Mills. This case serves as a stark reminder that the fight for justice is a marathon, not a sprint. It's a testament to the persistence of a daughter, the diligence of law enforcement, and the resilience of a community. It's a narrative of patience, of waiting more than 20 years for a breakthrough, a narrative of hope, of never giving up. As we end our story today, we're reminded that justice may be delayed, but it is never denied. For Sharon Mills, her story has finally found its conclusion, and for her daughter Angel, a new chapter begins.